This is a carving demonstration video for Mandibular First Premolar. We will start by marking the surfaces on the wax block. That is the buccal, lingual, mesial and distal surface. Next we will mark the measurements on the wax block. The cervico-occlusal length of the crown is 8.5 mm. Length of the root is 14 mm. Mesiodistal diameter of the crown is 7 mm and that at the cervix is 5 mm. Now we will join all the markings on the buccal and the lingual surface. And carve out the excess wax. This is the shape of the crown after the mesial and distal reduction. Now we'll mark two lines on the buccal surface dividing the crown into three parts, that is the incisal third, middle third and the cervical third. Then we will join the incisal third line to the midline marked on the tooth, indicating the mesial and distal slope, and carve out the excess wax. Repeating the same process on the other side. This is the crown after reduction. Now we will mark a midline on the mesial and distal aspect. And carve from this midline till the lingual surface, creating a slope. Because the lingual cusp of the mandibular first premolar is less developed. Now we will mark the labiolingual diameter of the crown, which is 7.5 mm, and that at the cervix, which is 6.5 mm, and join the markings. We will remove the excess wax from the buccal and the lingual aspect of. Now on the occlusal surface we will draw a line in the mesial distal direction and start carving the occlusal surface as we did in maxillary first premolar, that is from the buccal surface towards the line drawn, both on the mesial and distal slope. Mandibular first premolar has larger buccal triangular ridge and a small lingual triangular ridge. This is the occlusal surface after reduction. from the lingual aspect of the tooth, we can see the mesiolingual groove, which is a characteristic feature of the tooth. Now we have almost completed the crown portion, so we will move towards the carving of the root. For carving the root, we will roughly mark a taper shape indicating the root on the buccal and lingual aspect of the tooth and carve out the excess wax. On the mesial surface of the tooth, there is a mesial developmental groove which runs almost throughout the length of the root. Now, on the apical third of the root, there is the presence of a distal divergence. Now we will give the distal divergence to the tooth. Now we will mark the cervical line of the tooth. The curvature of cervical line on the mesial aspect is 1 mm and that on the distal aspect is 0 mm. So this was the video for demonstration of carving of mandibular first premolar.